Hey, Raindrops. Yes, I have a big announcement to make. Because my favorite shows are my own creations, yes, the Love and Marriage franchise and Belle Collective, I want to do something different as we sort of recap these amazing series. So instead of me talking about it all the time, although I know I can, how about I present a cast member from Belle Collective talking to a cast member from the Love and Marriage franchise, and they can talk about their respective shows and spill all the tea, get to know each other. Some of them do, some of them don't, but it'll be fun. Yes, please enjoy and make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.
Hi, Kimmi. How are you?
I am amazing. How are you?
I am well. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you. I think it's kind of cute, the whole crossover thing. So I was waiting my turn to see who I got to chat with.
I know. I'm
It
so.
was a pleasure meeting y'all in Birmingham, you and Letitia.
Yes.
It's
It
always
really,
so
really was.
cool to be able to see people and kind of put your energies together, kind of see how that flows. And I thought it was a great day.
It was very positive, and I mean, I had an amazing time with you all.
Thank you. Me too. Me too. How you feeling?
So I absolutely feel amazing. I feel really good. Today is a great day. Today is a great day. You know, I have lupus, and so I'm in kind of in remission. So that's a great thing. And I've seen, you know, I watched your story with being diagnosed with breast cancer, and that really hit home for me. You know, my grandmother, and all of her siblings had breast cancer. So to see you share your journey with the world is very brave of you. It was a very transparent moment, and it was just heartfelt.
and I appreciate it because it took me a minute to make that particular choice. As with you, I'm sure, like, you know, having lupus and being on TV, filming and running your businesses, I know there's got to be days when you're just kind of not feeling up to it. So how do you maneuver that? Like, is it tough?
Oh, extremely tough. I deal with chronic pain with my lupus, and I also have fibromyalgia, but I still have to get up, smile, push through it, run my businesses, you know, support my children, and also see about myself, you know, my personal life. So it is a lot to balance, but you know, with God, you know, he is so awesome. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I could have, I wouldn't be here today.
Girl, you ain't said
So I'm
nothing but a word.
thankful.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Doesn't Essie have lupus too?
She have it too. She have lupus as well.
How's she doing?
She have her days. Lupus for me, I suffer with chronic pain. It affects her immune system differently. It affects her lungs. So but she have challenges as well. We lean on each other, you know, for, you know, support each other and just kind of be there for each other. Our lives really parallel when it comes to having lupus. But hey, we're survivors, we're warriors, and we are not giving up.
Nope. And I like the fact that we get to have this platform because I'm sure you've had people reach out to you, you know, DMs or whatever in regards to, you know, a word of encouragement, support, that kind of thing. And that has been substantial in regards to this particular platform and reaching other people. Because in my particular case, African-American women are disproportionately affected. And so being able to reach some people to actually go get their mammograms, go get their tests, that's meant more than anything in my particular case. That's meant more than anything. So just trying to, you know, film, go through treatment, go to work and do that kind of thing. There's little rainbows, you know, that pop up after that make it absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. As they say, at the end of the storm, there's a what? Rainbow.
A rainbow.
Yeah.
And that's what I actually started
getting, and I actually started getting my breast exams early at 30, being, you know, due to, you know, my family history. So it's important.
I did too. I started at 35, at getting mine at 35. So it's just been a little transition kind of thing, and just feeling your best self. You know, you just want to feel your best self. So that's all we're aiming for at the end of the day, is getting back to our best self. And we've had a great break. Like, we've been on break. I don't know when y'all take y'all breaks, but we've been on break for filming during these holiday season, and it has been wonderful to kind of regroup and get yourself back together before we get back into the foolishness.
I know, right? Like, how do you balance that?
We encounter each other. Yeah, Huntsville's small. And when we first started, with the original people that started, I knew all of them. We were legit friends. We hung out, we went on vacation.
Oh.
We were legit friends. And you know, different stuff happens along the way where you kind of fall out, you're not as close. But everybody else on the show after that, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know anybody after that. I had never heard of Stormy. And I think Stormy did an interview with Latrice, and she was saying Huntsville's small and they act like they didn't know me. Everybody know me. No, man. I had never heard of Stormy before the TV show. I met Destiny through the TV show. I met the Fletchers through the TV show. And we see them all the time now. Like, we're friends now. We're cool now. But I didn't know anybody except the original Marceau, Martell, Maurice, Tisha, Melody, and myself were the ones that I knew prior to. And so we, from time to time, you know, still keep up. We're not the best friends anymore.
Well, do you feel that stemming reality TV ruined you all's friendship? Do you think it played a big part in you all's relationship outside of TV?
So here's the thing. Our relationship wasn't the best just prior to the TV show. We met in 2014 and we hung out. We were cool. When the TV show actually started, we had just gone our separate ways. We weren't bickering, you know, we weren't on social media trying to tear each other down. We weren't that. We had just you know, gone our separate ways. And then Melody had been working on a TV show for a minute. And when things started to pull back together, she asked us to come back together to see if we could you know, make it work.
Right.
So to be fair, before months before the TV show, we weren't the best of friends. We just had gotten to a place where we were doing separate things. 2014, 2015, yes, we were tough, hanging out tough. So in regards to the show, I do think that it was enough of a wedge to help make that gap a little bit bigger. I don't think it caused it, not by any stretch of the imagination, because I think it was already there. It was just that I do think that the show added a little bit of, you know, a catalyst. I feel like that incident from season 1 has taken y'all to where y'all are now, where you and Latrice just.
Okay, it goes back to, you know, how the fans, you know, how ruthless they can be, and they can go on and, you know, bring, you know, you know, continuously talk about things and give their perspective on things, and you know, just ask tough questions and say things that it may not be quite right or on key, but she allowed that to go on and on and on to create that narrative in her head that, okay, I got a problem with her, or other women on the show have a problem with her. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. You see what I'm saying?
I was watching when they said, I think her and Tambra had a conversation in regards to Akeisha coming and her being in the text group, not in the text group, if she's going to be part of the circle, part of the collective and all that. And, you know, and then they were saying that Tambra was the one who said, don't put her in. And then I think it was Latrice and them was like, you and Marie were the one, I mean, you and Leticia were the ones that said, let's not put her in. Did that ever get resolved? Because that
let me say this, Kimmi. I am a very transparent person. I don't bite my tongue. I don't play games with people. I don't I don't do any of that. If I say something, if I do something, I'm going to stand on what I say or what I do. So just like the situation with Tambra and her ex-boyfriend.
Right.
I stood in it. I went to her and told her what that was. She didn't hear it from nobody else. She heard it from me first. So the whole text message situation, that shit didn't have nothing to do with me. What actually happened was I met Tambra and Letitia at a restaurant. So at that time, I didn't know So Gucci nor Akeisha. I had never seen a picture of them. I them. So when we met up for dinner, Letitia and Tambra was talking about the two new Bells. Because they knew of them. I didn't. So I'm listening to them. So Tisha tells Tambra, well, okay, I'm gonna start a group chat. When we start filming, I'm gonna get ready to start. I'm gonna start a group chat text with all of the Bells. So Tambra was like, well, if you start a group chat, well, don't include me in that. I don't want to be in it. For whatever reason, whatever happened in their childhood or whatever, that didn't have nothing to do with me. That wasn't no beef I had with Akeisha or Tambra, because me, Tambra, and Tisha was at the table. So I didn't have a problem with Tambra. It was Tambra and Letitia's conversation about So Gucci and Akeisha. Not me. I was just there in dinner with them. So when Tambra said that I had an issue with Akeisha, I'm like, why would you, I didn't have nothing to do with it. If I got a problem with Akeisha, hell, I tell Akeisha I have a problem with her. But she never did nothing to me. So what did they have to do with me? So the group text, when Letitia, when the whole thing came up about Akeisha being excluded, the only text message that I did know about, Tisha had a birthday dinner. Tisha, Akeisha, and all the ladies had got into it at the sister convention, and I wasn't there. I was out. Okay. That's when I was on the FaceTime. And so it was the whole situation about Akeisha allegedly supposed to have called us ugly.
Right, I remember
Tisha didn't like that. Tisha didn't like that. So when Letitia scheduled her birthday dinner, she didn't invite Akeisha because she had called us ugly. But the truth is, Tambra did say that. So I don't understand why Tambra won't just stand on it. You said just the hell yeah, I said it. Why lie about it? And then you gonna put me in it? So my man Letitia didn't want Akeisha. Why would I not want Akeisha in a group message? I don't know Akeisha like that. And I didn't know So Gucci. Right. It just didn't make sense.
Right. Well, it made a whole ruckus. And it seemed like it's carried over season after season after season. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think on the commercial for your season finale, you don't get to go to the state capitol. No. You don't get the invite for the state capitol. Well, and some kind of way you feel like that's Tambra.
Well, the reason being is because all this is initiated between me and all of this transpired between me and Tambra from her ex. So I don't know if you know this, but one of my friend girls, close friend of mine, called me up and said, Marie, listen, I got a good friend. He's trying to clear his name from the show. He's been accused of some allegations. He used to date Tambra. I didn't know the specific details, but I knew it was something serious going on with this guy. And
let me ask you a question real quick. Hold that thought. Quick question. So this was part that I didn't really understand, and I watched the show.
Okay, go ahead.
So was it him that reached out to you, like in your DMs, to get you this information? Or just a minute ago, I think you said a person you know really well gave you the information? Because that makes a difference. Because I was under the impression he DM'd you and went out here to get your information. And I was like, Marie, we get people DMs all the time that want to give
now let me say this. Classmates. No, he did. And I didn't know this until after the fact. He did reach out to all of the Bells through a anonymous page. But hell, I didn't get it. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody responded because we get people in our DMs
all the time wanting to give some information.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. So, a good friend of mine reached out to me. If that had not been the case and I didn't trust my friend, I would have never touched the situation. I went off her word and I thought this was a serious, legitimate case. You see what I'm saying? So none of this really had nothing to do with me.
But you can feel how Tambra gonna feel away.
I understand. So, right, I do. I do see how Tambra feel. Now, I'm going to get to that. Okay. So, I only made the introduction because of my friend. You know how you have your friends, your people come to you, you trust them? And so, when I found out from Tambra that she had some issues with this guy stalking her, I'm like, I double back to my friend. And I'm like, you got me caught up in some, like this is some bullshit right here that I'm dealing with that really ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'm thinking this is a legitimate situation because you are my friend. And now Tambra upset with me because she thinking that this was done on some malicious shit. And that was never the case to try to hurt her. That was never my intent. To try to hurt her.
It came on TV as malicious.
It did. It looked like that, but that was never that was not absolutely wasn't the case. And I explained that to Tambra, like this one done on a malicious intent because why would I do something to try to hurt you? I don't have no beef with you. I don't have no issues. I only entertained the situation because of my good friend. But now I got issues with her.
If that's the case, when it took a minute for you to say you were sorry, like when they were like,
in that moment, I felt at that time, like, man, why am I apologizing? And I know I wasn't doing this to try to hurt her. And I'm trying to tell her that. In that moment, that's how I felt like I didn't owe her an apology because I didn't do this to try to hurt her.
Gotcha.
I only met with the guy because a great friend of mine asked me to meet with him, not knowing that this information allegedly was false.
Gotcha.
Tambra was saying that it was false. This guy was saying that she, had put stalking charges and stuff on him, and he had court papers where the judge had dismissed it. And I'm like, damn, I felt bad. Like, damn, I've been in a position where I had to clear my name before, like, well, damn. So I was trying to explain to Tambra that I didn't go look this guy up. But after she told me that, hey, she was hurt by it, okay, Tambra, all right. I'm sorry. My intent wasn't to hurt you. That was never my intent to hurt you. And then even after I apologized to you and even after I apologized to her and let her know, hey, my intent was not to hurt you, you still dragging this out. Like I told you I'm sorry. I didn't ask God to forgive me for it. Like you can't crucify me for nothing. Because I already apologized to you. Now I'm not gonna kiss your ass. Now I done got it off of me.
So you think that's the fans that make them carry it? Like once you apologize,
you think? That's the thing. So even it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about how you can talk about something with somebody and you move with the problem, the person you have an issue with, you can move forward. But then when the fans talk about it, it comes back up, and then one or the other person get engaged, and it's like the resolution is out the window. The situation of y'all moving forward is out the window. You see what I'm saying? Because we had already talked about it, and she participated with the fans, instead of saying that, I hurt her maliciously. And that it wasn't no malicious intent.
So you still think she's behind you not going to the state capitol? You think this is all still carry over?
Because she reached, Tambra's cousin, the girl through her spring fling, and her cousin, he was a councilman at the time. They worked at the Capitol. So Tambra reached out to all of the Bells and told them that the Bells were being recognized. They were going to, what do you call it? It was a resolution. They were going to have a resolution for the Bells. That's a big deal. a resolution. And so I didn't know nothing about it. The way I knew about it, Letitia told me about it. But when I confronted Tambra, Tambra said that she told Letitia to tell me.
Oh.
She told Letitia to tell me. I never denied meeting with the guy. And that's the part that the viewers don't know. I never denied that. I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go and meet with Tambra X to dig up some dirt. Because that's what they saying on social media, that I'm digging up dirt on Tambra. That was never the case.
I think you have to have a realm of cautiousness when you find information.
I know that now.
Now my friends
can't even, now my friends can't come and ask no favors of me. Like to do nothing.
I feel the same way. And I've been like that since day one as well. I'm like, you want to be upset with me, be upset with me about some for real. So I get that. Like, I get that part. It's tough though, because we need the fans as far as making the show work. But sometimes it gets to the point where it's disrespectful and it's disturbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like to say that.
No, and I was going to say, and I don't want that from the people who consider themselves my fans to do to another person. You know what I mean? I think there's a level you can uplift your person, not tear down the next person at the same time.
Right.
And I know
and they do that bad.
Social media in general, because you got these keyboard thugs like behind their cameras and behind their faces and behind the fake, icons and all that. And they can say a lot of stuff on the internet. And I just don't understand what's the point. Like,
that's the problem I don't like. That's why I'm not on social media like that. I post, get out, but I don't even follow nobody because it's too, like, I can't be productive in my business and be on the phone looking at that all day. You just can't get anything done.
I don't know how people got that time. You're right.
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with people having their being a fan of the person who they like. 100%. And there's nothing wrong with you voicing your opinion, but don't be degrading and humiliating.
Yeah.
Like it's that tough. Part is, I got zero tolerance for that.
Yeah, it's tough. And from the very beginning, with all these shows have different couples and different people that take the forefront. And I think that's what makes the show work. That's the things that make it work. It's the ensemble. It's all of the people that make the show work. So even when they have conversations of, who shouldn't be here, like they'll say in a heartbeat, like, oh, they should be gone, take them off the show, they're boring. And I imagine because you don't have drama that you're boring, because at the end of the day, if you look at even our investment portfolio, things that we do, I think Maurice and I's investment portfolio outweighs everybody on this platform. So I don't think that there's any one of us that without each other would be insanely successful. I just don't. I think we all need each other. And I've said it since season 1. My stance hasn't changed. I think the benefit of the show is that you don't have to like me. Like, don't I care? Like, you don't have to like me. You can like Tisha. You can like Melody.
That's right.
There's a lot of stuff to go around. Maybe how they live fits your mantra a little bit better. Maybe how they run fits your mantra. Me going to work every day, that ain't for you. And that's okay. I've just never gotten to the place where I understand the disrespectful hatred of it all. Like, I can't wrap my head around it.
Me either. Like,
is it like that for the Bells? Because I don't read y'all's comments and stuff.
My thing is, it's the same way.
Oh,
like the hate, the humiliating, degrading, the body shaming. My thing is, do you guys have to? I mean, do the viewers? Some of them. I'm not gonna speak for all. Do you have to degrade and humiliate another woman and body shame them, tear them down to lift yourself up or to lift another Belle up?
Agreed.
Do you have to do that? The body shaming. Right. All it do is show weakness and insecurity.
Right.
Like the lying. Like, I just feel like with this platform, we should use this platform to share our stories, whether it hurt, good, bad, ugly, if it hurt or not, share it and be able to inspire and motivate and help the next person. because each one of our stories can inspire and help somebody. I mean, like, if you don't want to share your story, or if you don't want to share certain things, I don't think you should even be, we shouldn't be here. Stop making up stuff. See,
So
I don't
what about all
that.
the pop-ups? What about all Glenn pop-ups? Like,
nah,
Glenn,
that be, listen.
I'm saying,
listen.
is that story, that's kind of like, that bug be like,
no.
Popping.
Me and Glenn be like this, button heads off of the camera, like button heads. I'm like, damn, Tisha, Glenn got a camera on your truck, on your vehicle. Why every time we go somewhere, he popping up? That's uncomfortable for me. Like, if you got problems with your man, you put me in an uncomfortable position. I don't know what may pop off between y'all.
He a pop-up type of dude.
Yeah, like, I don't like that. So I'm like, like I told her, don't come tell me your marriage, nothing about your marriage, Mom. I'm your friend. Right. If you complaining to me about your spouse, I'm gonna feel some type of way because you my friend. I love you, you my friend. Right. So if you don't want me to judge, you don't want me to have nothing to say, don't tell me. And this ain't
that's an honest statement.
And this ain't something that I have not told my friend. I've told her, don't tell me nothing else. Because see, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm feeling bothered. It's uncomfortable. I'm with you. We out talking girls time, and your husband pop up at the restaurant. Like, that's to me, that's like some stalking type of shit. Like, how he know we even there?
But that's some old school advice that they have always given, as far as telling your friends, your family, when stuff ain't quite right. Because once we mad and y'all get back together,
they're gonna make up.
Mad. Right.
And it ain't okay with me no more.
Right.
It ain't okay with me.
I agree. It's the same thing. Did it make you feel a way when he like made the comment about you and Essie? When he be making little side things.
You know what? I take that, like, when people say that, I just laugh at it, because it's just, it's, for me, it just shows that women, especially women, they don't normalize friendships. They don't value friendships with other women, because our relationship shouldn't be looking abnormal. Right. We're business partners. Blood couldn't make us any closer. When we started our business, nobody would share anything with us. So all we had was each other to lean on.
Right.
And if I was into Esther, she's an amazing woman. I would be true to my authentic self and say, look, this is my woman, if that's the case. But that's not the case.
Right.
So I just feel like women, people don't normalize, relationships with their women friends. Like, it don't look normal to them.
I think that's a valid statement. Like, I do. I think that's a valid statement, kind of, when you look at some of the overall comments and things like that. And even in marriages and stuff, a lot of times I think people look at dysfunction as reason for divorce. Dysfunction equals divorce, because marriage is work, marriage is time, marriage is, stability and consistency.
Yeah.
So I clearly would not be one to say that we haven't had some issues in marriage. But it's amazing to me how many people are just like, oh, you're so stupid and you're this, and why are you with them? I'm with them because I love him. I love him and he loves me. Has he done some stupid stuff? Absolutely. Have you done some stupid stuff? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it mind boggles me when people act like you're supposed to be throwing in the towel over foolishness, like literally foolishness.
Yeah. I just think that, in a marriage, if you're not done with your spouse, keep your problems to yourself. Don't involve your family and your friends, because when y'all not mad no more, your friends or your family, they're still feeling some type of way.
Absolutely.
So just keep that, like, and I told Letitia this, like, keep me out of it. Like, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know. If you know you're not done, work it out, because you're going back. But that popping up type of stuff, like Glenn is, and I tell him this, and I just told him, his ass is crazy. Like, that's some psychopath stalking shit to me. Like, it's scary.
Oh,
but
it was
that's
scary
their
when
function.
it happened, watching it.
Yeah, is their function. So I just want to ask you, like with your marriage, with you and, Maurice, I saw, the scene where, you were stating that when y'all had, due to you taking chemo and being sick, when you all will become intimate, you will fake orgasms and things like that. And he felt some type of way and said some insensitive things. So how did you all navigate through that?
Yeah, that was like a big deal. I mean, and it was a lot. It was a big deal for people who care about me, as well as for people who took the opportunity to take a jab. You know what I mean? Because it's a true situation for me, and I shared it with my producers because it's what I'm going through. It is my life today. And so it was a TV spot that we talked about, and I shared that episode with Maurice. Trying to garner, I guess, compassion, support, understanding, a lot of things people don't tell you along the path. And so when you finally hear a nugget or two, you're like, oh my God. And what happened in that particular case was that I was feeling that way for a while, but I actually thought I was depressed. I thought that I was depressed. And that was what was causing me not to, want to have sex. It was just like any other woman that their husband comes home, you just don't want to. It literally was just a don't want to kind of thing. And then I have a girlfriend who unfortunately went through breast cancer almost simultaneously as I did. And her physician actually gave her a list of pros and cons in regards to the chemotherapy. And on her list, it was the decreased libido. And when I read her list, I was like, and that was like a light bulb for me. And so for the world that thought it was just this storyline, it was a light bulb for me because I literally thought I was depressed and needed a pill, is what I thought. And so I felt some comfort in seeing that on the list of side effects. Like, okay, now this is starting to make sense and it's going to go away over time. And so when everybody's talking about it, of course, when Carlos does his interview, it's going to be addressed. That's going to be one of the questions. And so Maurice, in answering the question, was like, it was just insensitive is a nice way of saying he was a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is a nice way of putting it. But the way that he answered the question was so inappropriate at my expense that it literally set the internet on fire for the reasons that I just gave. It was just insensitive. It wasn't thoughtful of me. It wasn't protective of me. The way that he verbalized that same conversation, and made poor implications that I was having sex with him when I didn't want to. I was having sex painfully. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were acting like I'm throwing up on one side of the bed and having sex on the other side of the bed.
Well, Kimmi, I know, like when I first got diagnosed with lupus, like I couldn't walk. I had to have a walker to walk. And so at the time, my spouse had no understanding. Like I had to have sex and couldn't move. Like my body limp, fatigue. It was just no consideration, no understanding. Like he wanted sex. I didn't have a choice.
But Marie, that's coming from your mouth as facts. And that's how they were trying to portray my situation. But that wasn't my situation. Yeah. That wasn't my situation. I wasn't limp and laying in the bed and him having sex and I'm laying there sick and nauseous and whatever. Mine's isn't that. Mine's is very simplistic in the nature that I just don't want to have it. I don't want to have it because I'm just not aroused. I'm not libido. People look up the word. You know what I'm saying?
Well, shit, I wasn't aroused either. I didn't want to do it either.
And that's unfortunate. And the fact of the matter is a lot of people don't make it through terminal illnesses. That's because of this kind of thing. There's a lot of spouses, be it men or women. I've talked to so many people after these stories have aired. I've talked to women whose husbands were terminally ill, maybe dialysis, maybe a terminal disease, and they're going through the same thing on the opposite end, but they're women. And they're trying to hang in there for their husbands and they're trying to be there. There's a lot of marriages that don't make it because people can't tough that part out. Sometimes they just can't. And that's unfortunate. I am happy to say we have, you know, amid a reality TV show, amid fanship perspective, amid you know, taking the internet by storm, going from the favorite couple to I wish y'all was off the TV show. Like,
when you feel about that, you know, like when things, when the fans don't like something that you do, or may not like how you may handle a situation, whatever the case may be, the first thing they say, well, Marie needs to be off the show, or Kimmi and the Scotts, they need to be gone, they need to be off. Like, what's your perspective on that? Do you think do they have valid reason to take it that far for somebody to be fired because they don't like what they're saying, or they don't like their reality at that moment?
I do not. I don't like it at all, because I am a consummate believer, and I've said it to every person that has asked my opinion. I think it takes everybody to make that show work. And you're not gonna like everybody. That's just, and it's okay. Like, you're not gonna like everybody, but there's a modicum of, you know, reality that I think everybody brings. Everybody's life isn't as exciting as the next person. You know, on our show, it's funny because they talk about the storylines. Marshall and Tisha talking about infidelity for 5 years, but nobody's got no proof of it, and we're still talking about it. They're tired of talking about it. They've talked about, you know, Mel Martell getting a divorce, you know, that kind of thing. So they'll verbalize what they're tired of. However, when there is some reality that's boring, they don't want that either, because
and you can't you can't satisfy everybody.
And that's what I think they get. I just think, like, a lot of people say we don't want drama, but then when you don't have drama, you think it's boring. I literally wanted to do a post one day and say, y'all tell me what y'all think of storyline, because I don't get it sometimes. Like, when I say I don't get it, I honestly don't get it. It's like you say you don't want fighting and stuff, but unless they fighting, you act like it's nothing going on. Whereas I could give you a dozen things that Maurice and Kimmi did from season 1 till now, and yet people will say we bring nothing to the show. And so I really do.
If I'm giving my all, I'm, you know, giving story when it comes to my mom, my children, my business.
How is she?
She's doing, she progressing. She's coming along. She's coming along. I tell her, you know, every day above ground is an opportunity to get it right. Start over and try again. So, you know, I can't give up on her. I have to at least be there for and encourage her, and just let her know that I'm here.
Is that hard for you? Because, you know, talking about addiction in general, that's something that people kind of like to hide. They kind of like to act like it's no big deal.
I'm glad you asked me that. With addiction, crack, marijuana, heroin, alcohol, popping pills, it's all the same thing. One addiction, gambling, one addiction ain't no different from the other. It's all addiction. So, you know, I think people tend to say, well, this drug ain't as bad as that drug, but it's all the same. Mental health, whether you're depressed, dealing with anxiety, schizophrenia, all of it is the same. Mental health, substance use, all that is under the same umbrella. It's all the same. So are you gonna tell somebody, okay, they over here grieving their loved one and they're depressed, they're crazy? No. That don't mean that they're crazy. They just need help processing their feelings and what they're going through. So it's all the same, and that needs to be talked about.
You're right.
Mental illness, mental health.
You're right.
I've gone through things in my life. I'm not ashamed to talk about nothing that I have experienced. I can use my voice, my platform, to share with other women of what not to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not embarrassed about nothing I've gone through. I've been very vocal about everything. You know, but yeah, I think that, you know, that's something that I would like to highlight more. Mental health, substance abuse. Those things need to be talked about because it affect all communities across the board.
Oh, I agree. I just didn't know like how difficult it would be to share that about your mom.
It's difficult.
I just know it's difficult to talk about people in themselves, their own personal information, but to, you know, share that.
It's hard dealing with somebody with an addiction, you know, their mood swings and the things that they deal with. That's a lot dealing with somebody, you know, with that person, with the personality like that. I have a question. I got one for you. What do you think about, okay, I know Belle Collective, our cast consists of all ladies. And I know y'all cast is a little bit, it's mixed. About like how the fans, if you disagree with another female, it's almost always, oh, is she jealous? Or she hate? Or she... Let me tell you something, Kim. I have changed a lot of women's lives. A lot of women's lives. I have put a lot of women on. It's some women out here that I've helped in careers where they have passed me, and I'm happy for them. You know, like I've never been the type of person that envy another woman, because what God have for me is it's mine. It's for me. I don't want what's theirs, and I can't get what's theirs, and they can't get what's mine. What's for me is for me, and what's for them is for them. You know, so I don't like. Yeah, like it shouldn't
I'm
be.
bothered by that because a lot of people act like you can't have an opinion. If your opinion is different from their fan favorite, it causes this huge demise. And I don't understand it. I don't understand why you got to hate, why you got to be jealous.
I've never been like that.
Opinion. Like, and from the day I was in working 9 to 5 corporate America all the time, I would tell people, I can talk to you for hours about something we don't agree on until you're disrespectful. Because there's no reason for you to be disrespectful because I don't agree with you. And that can be for anybody. I've had heated conversations with Maurice. And I'd be like, just because I don't agree with you don't mean like your tone got to change. Like, I just don't agree with you. We can agree to disagree and go get some dinner. Like, my mind doesn't wrap around it. I'm not jealous of people. I love where my life is. I think everything that has turned out for me was ordained by the Lord. Literally.
That's right.
Me getting married when I got married, having my husband here, having my parents here, getting my cancer diagnosis when I did, everything that has gone on in my world has been ordained for me.
That's right.
So there's not a woman that I ever want to be. Like, I am me and I am comfortable with me. If you are uncomfortable, then that is your problem. But it doesn't make me jealous of anyone. I am happy, especially for our TV show, because I feel like everybody's getting what they want.
Yeah,
like everybody's getting what they want. Mel wants to model and do that thing and get on TV and have her own stuff. She's doing exactly what she wants. Kimmi doesn't want that.
Right. I don't desire that.
Right.
Like,
Kimmi doesn't want that at all. Kimmi doesn't want that. So I think it's unfortunate when you have differencing of opinions. And I think that it's unfortunate, like, I can agree with you today, and then they'll say, ooh, she hating on Tisha. But then I agree with Tisha tomorrow. Oh, Kimmi a flip-flopper. No, Kimmi thought what she did today was not right. And what she did yesterday was not right. You know what I'm saying? But now I got to flip-flop because I agreed with you today, but I didn't agree with you tomorrow.
I manifested my life. And I wouldn't want to trade that with nobody in this world. I would rather die than to trade my life with anybody on this planet. Because I'm living a life of my dreams. Everything that I prayed for, I'm living it. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, I eat, sleep, breathe healthcare. I'm living a life of my dreams.
And listen, at the end of the day, what these folks see on social media is what they want you to see.
Yeah.
So while you thinking that people are jealous and hating, believe me, there's a lot more going on behind social media cameras that you don't know, that I don't care to have a part of. I'm perfectly
Me
okay.
either.
I had a patient one time, and I used to go see her every week, ask her how she doing, da da da, whatever. She said to me one day, she said, Kim, if all of us were to put our troubles on the table, you would take your own back. And what that meant was, once you see some shit that other people is going through, you look at
Baby.
your little pile of shit and be like, all right, let me go ahead and to go to the house. Because people got stuff. Social media makes you feel like you are living this dream. And that's not always the case. It's really not always the case.
It's not.
It's
I
not
don't
always the
desire
case.
with this platform. I just want to be able to share my journey with the women who can relate to me, to the people who can relate to me. And I may not be able to, and I'm not relatable to everybody, but just to the people who can relate to me. And I'm happy with that. I don't desire to do like be some type of what is it? What is it? I do not desire to be into modeling or do movies, or that's not my passion. I just want to be able to use this platform to inspire and to help somebody.
Oh,
that's all I wanted for.
That's what we said from the beginning of this show as well.
That's all I want.
And we also wanted it to be a medium for people to have conversation, because as adults, we understand that people have differencing of opinion. And we felt like that conversation was going to spur the ratings of the show. Like, I agree with you. I don't agree with that. Kimmi shouldn't have said that. She should have said. We wanted the conversation because we think men and women are just wired differently. So we wanted conversation. I don't think we were looking for the toxicity of it all in regards to like hating a person because they have a differencing of opinion. The goal of the show, part of us even coming together, was because we used to spend so much time literally sitting around the table just talking about stuff, like asking each other questions. What would you do if so-and-so? What if you found out so-and-so? We would sit at the table, men and women, and have these conversations to see what a man would say, what a woman would say, how their perspectives marry. So when we meet, viewers out, and the husband says, oh, we watch your show together every night and we'll get to talking about this. That was the plan. Like, that was the plan, to have good, healthy, fulfilling conversations and to glean some information along the way about real estate, properties, entrepreneurship, all of that kind of stuff. That was always the plan. And so when any conversation that looks like you're disagreeing gets turned into a big argument. Take, for instance, the spa. Me and Mel and Tisha were in the spa talking about her name change ceremony. And so we were having a general conversation in regards to the name change ceremony in itself. And I mentioned that I have friends, obviously, who have gotten divorced. And there's a thought process behind whether you're going to change your name or not. More often when they have little kids. And you didn't you get divorced?
Like, I got a divorce and had I have Zuri, and so I still carry my ex-husband last name. And the reason why I didn't change it was because, at the time Zuri was so small, and I'm like, okay, if I go to the school, I don't want to pick up in Hamilton, and then her last name's Abston, so I just want to just keep it simple, keep the last name. But however, I did say maybe when she get a little bit older, if her dad, once he remarried, okay, I'm going back to my maiden name. Because I'm not gonna it's not gonna be too absence out here.
Listen, Linda, you should have been in that spa with us, because that's exactly what I said. How it became this big catastrophe on the World Wide Web, I think, was played upon the conversation that maybe I was referencing mothers that have children out of wedlock, and I was not. I was referencing exactly what you said verbatim. Like, exactly. Like, and in my brain, I thought, once again, it would just be conversation. I thought it would just be conversation. There's some people who do it and some people who won't.
I don't think it's a right or a wrong way.
There isn't.
I don't see nothing wrong with her wanting to, change her name back. She may just need a fresh start, new beginning.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. I agree with every word that you just said. And
I don't think it's a right or wrong.
That was the entire conversation. However, by the time it got on the internet, the implication was in regards to, I think the verbiage that some of them used was babies' mamas. I don't like that verbiage. I call them mothers who had children out of wedlock. And so it wasn't that type of conversation. So they were just, Kimmi, oh, that was you, and da, da, da. And I was like, they're missing the point here. Like, the point was verbatim what you said. Verbatim, the whole point was verbatim what you said. And so things like that, to me, I think put a divide where there is none. It puts a divide where there is none, because there is nothing in the world that's going to make me downplay your decision to do whatever you're doing in your marriage with
but now, and then let me say this, Kimmi, it could be, when, especially for women, when women who go through a bad marriage, like a breakup, sometimes you just want the experience is so traumatic, you want just a fresh start. You just want to cut ties. You just don't want, you want to get away from that, the name and everything, because of the experience. And that I'm not speaking for her, I don't know. That may be the case. Like, I had a bad ending to my marriage. I couldn't take it no more. So I can see her like, you know what? Let me give you your name back. Let me have a fresh start.
And it's been a traumatic situation for her. And she has risen as the rose through the concrete. I 100% get that. However, it's a conversation. I'm not demeaning or downing any decision made by any person. It's a conversation. And the very first thing you said out of your mouth speaks to what we were talking about at that time. And for whomever it works, it works. Whomever it doesn't, it doesn't. My sister is one of them. She kept her name for the kids. Like, I got 552,000 friends who kept that name for the kids. Like, it just is what it is.
But I watched the story. I witnessed, what Mel went through, and when I look back at my life and what I went through, hell, I should have been changing my name. But I should have changed my name. So I feel her on that. I do feel it. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
So I get it, is what I guess what my whole point is, that I get it. I just don't ever want to feel like I can't share my opinion when I'm asked. So when I'm talking and I'm having a conversation, I'm going to say what I think.
I got a question for you. How you feel about y'all reunion? The 3-part reunion. What you thinking?
Ours was a lot. It was a lot, and it was a very long day. It was a lot, and it was a very long day. I think that there are going to be some questions answered at the end of the day. I think there are going to still be some cliffhangers out there. You gotta keep them guessing, gotta keep them coming back. Yeah. So I think there's going to still be some cliffhangers, but it was emotionally taxing. I think the folk are gonna.
It was emotional. The overall reunion. You think it was emotional?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do. Because a lot of times when you're on the show, you film it. Whatever issue you have, you talk about it, you do whatever. You're mad. You know what I'm saying? Filming's over. You talk about it. You get over it. Everything's cool. Then you got to watch it when it plays. Then you get mad again. You get mad again when you look at it. You see the confessionals. You see what people said in the confessional. And you're like, girl, I thought we fixed that. Like, why are you talking about that? So you look at the confessionals. So then you kind of temper back down by the time the reunion comes. Then by the time you're at the reunion and Carlos gets to asking you all them questions, then you mad again. You like everybody was pretty much in their feelings. Like everybody was pretty much in their feelings. I think overall it gave what it's supposed to give.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Definitely.
I know. And look, I appreciate y'all for paving the way for us. You know what I mean? Like, yes.
Oh, girl.
I can speak
It
for
was
me.
an
I really
opportunity.
appreciate it. Yeah, I
Oh,
really appreciate
absolutely.
that.
We appreciate Carlos too.
Yes.
Because there was an opportunity presented to us as well. So I understand and I received that.
Yeah, y'all
but
paved the way for us.
Along with that, we say our thanks as well.
Yeah, y'all paved the way for us. We couldn't exist if it wasn't for Huntsville. Yeah,
y'all doing
y'all
great.
paved the way for us, and I'm grateful for that. I am, to be able to share my story.
We're gonna have to link up with y'all next time we come down for a game.
Yeah,
we came for the football. I mean the basketball.
Yeah, let me know. What's so good talking to you as always.
Likewise. And I'll be glad when we get to link up again, maybe with everybody. I think that would be really, really cool. I think it'd be cool if we all linked up. Like if Love and Marriage DC, Love and Marriage Detroit, the Bells, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I think that would be dope. Like for us to maybe do like a
big
like a family reunion kind of thing where we go own, you know, OWN owns family reunion. And like all of us get together as opposed to just like little snippets here and there because we're family at this point. And you know, and the goal is success. The goal is success for every one of us. For me to succeed means you to succeed. For you to succeed means they succeed. So I think that would be dope.
Oh wow. Hopefully Carlos King can hear that. King, you hear that? That would be so dope. Yeah.
I agree. Well, we'll see. He has lots of stuff on his plate, I'm sure. But it would be nice because I think everybody kind of needs the support of the next group in order for this to work.
Absolutely. I agree.
Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, girl, and take my dog off. But it's been cool. Kiss the girls for me. Talk to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye.